Hi, I'm Mike Field.
I'm Mike Butler.
And welcome to Forgotten Cinema from Console to Screen. We're embarking on a 5-part series to break down and discuss movies that are based on video games. Each episode, we'll talk about what we love about the movie or perhaps don't love about it. But as we say in the main show, we always recommend you revisit it. We're not alone on this journey. No. We've been joined by friend and former colleague Russ Lyman from the Weekly Warp Pipe podcast, who will help us navigate each movie born from the video game world, as he likes to say, bit by bit. If you enjoy this series, we want to hear from you. Forgotten Cinema is on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and of course, YouTube. Drop us a comment, share what you like or don't like about these movies, or just say hello. Let's get into it. Fellas, we've come to the end.
Rip and tear.
How's everyone surviving their Doom watch? Doing well, I see.
Doing all right.
Is that the Blu-ray?
No, it's just the DVD.
Russ, have you owned every movie we've done so far?
I think so.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you showing us the box cover. I love it. Cover art.
I will say, speaking of that, like, of course, they got to have The Rock on the front cover, but I feel like it would have been better if it was more video game themed, of like the demons or something or whatever. I mean, they have the font and everything, but I don't know.
You want to trick people into buying the movies?
Yeah, almost. Like, what's that horror company that does like the bootleg movie or whatever? Like, they'll have like a Thor movie come out and it's like similar. Asylum or whatever. So like they could have gone that route.
Yeah.
But I will say, I watched some of the, it has like special features, right, on this. And I thought it was very interesting that it had, if you take this DVD and put it into an Xbox, it lets you play one level of Doom 3.
Really?
Which I thought that was pretty neat.
It just shows up? It just pops, it just starts playing?
I don't have an Xbox to try it. I assume they were meeting, I don't think it was Xbox 360. I think original Xbox, like the OG one.
The note on Wikipedia said 360 that I read.
It was 360? Okay.
Yeah.
It just said in the notes, like when you go onto the screen on the DVD, it's just like inserted into the Xbox. And I'm like, 360 or regular or one or so that's kind of neat. A little bonus on that. And I watched a little bit of the, we'll get to it with the first person scene that they did. Yes. You can kind of see behind the scenes on that. But I thought that was pretty cool to have the if you got the physical copy.
Nice. All right, so let's get into those facts, and then we can talk about this lovely movie. Doom has a runtime of 105 minutes. It's rated R. Production budget of $60 million to $70 million, depending upon what you read. Came out on October 21st, 2005, which was a Friday, and its opening weekend it did $15.5 million. Its domestic total was $28 million, international $30 for a worldwide total of $58 million. So not really a box office bonanza. Production company was John Wells Production, D. Bonaventure Pictures, and Reaper Productions, and it was distributed by Universal Pictures. So it came out on the 21st. So let's go back to the 14th of October 2005. You had a wide release of the remake of The Fog, Elizabethtown and Domino. Did you guys see The Fog, the remake?
Yes.
So Russ, you never saw it. Did you see the original, Russ?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like the original. Remake's all right. I mean, it's just okay.
It's very kind of like TV movie-ish.
Oh, okay.
Is it still Pirates?
Yeah, it's still Pirates.
Is it? Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. This week, the week that Doom came out, it went up against a wide release of North Country, Dreamer, Stay, and Kids in America, and a limited release of Shopgirl and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. But Kiss Kiss Bang Bang was on 8 screens at that point, so probably not much of a competition there. And and there's not really anything in terms of like what the Doom. I think you classify Doom as a action horror film, pretty much, a monster movie a little bit. So these are all like counter programming. But the following week, the 28th of October, which is where you're going to get you're going to get one Halloween movie. You had Saw 2, the sequel to Saw. So that's probably the big scary movie that year. You also have The Legend of Zorro, which is the sequel to The Mask of Zorro, Prime, and The Weatherman, which, Mike, we
did The Weatherman on the podcast 2 seasons ago.
Yes, we did. That's absolutely right. All right, time for me to butcher some names. This film was directed by Daisy. Nope. I said that wrong. Andrzej Bartuwiokak. I completely screwed that name up. And anyways, he did Romeo Must Die, Exit Wounds, and Cradle to the Grave, and also Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li. So that is story was David Callahan, and he also has a screenplay credit with Wesley Strick. So Callahan has done the 2021 Mortal Kombat, which I know people here are fans of. Wonder Woman 1984, The Expendables, and Shang-Chi, The Legend and The Legend of the Ten Rings. And then Strick has done the 1991 remake Cape Fear, Wolf, and the 2010 A Nightmare on Elm Street. So a couple of movies I'm sure we all know. Cinematographer was Tony Pierce Roberts, who was nominated for an Oscar for Howard's End and A Room with a View. He's also done Underworld to kind of give you an idea of something similar to Doom. Composer was Clint Mansell, who's done Black Swan, Ghost in the Shell, and The Fountain. Edited by Derek Bretchen, who's done Stargate, Deep Blue Sea, and again, another Street Fighter Legend of Chun-Li credit here. And then produced by John Wells. Yes, ER John Wells and the West Wing John Wells, and Lorenzo Di Bonaventura, who's done Madam Web and Transformers and G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra. Not a huge cast. Obviously, he's billed as The Rock, but we all know him now as Dwayne Johnson, as Sarge. I was going to put like his more recent ones, but I decided to put some older credits like The Rundown, Southland Tales, and Tooth Fairy for those who don't remember. Karl Urban as John Grimm, our protagonist here. Obviously, he plays Bones in the Star Trek movie series. He's Judge Dredd in Dredd for the 2012 version. Mm-hmm. He's in Riddick and the TV show The Boys, which I'm sure he's probably more known as. That's right. Definitely for you guys. I know you guys watch The Boys, right? Russ, do you watch The Boys?
I've seen 4 or 5 episodes, so I got to get back into it.
Good enough.
Good enough. I put my time in.
Rosamund Pike as Samantha Grimm. She is the brother of John Grimm in this film. She's nominated for an Oscar for Gone Girl, and she's in Die Another Day and The World's End. Diobia Opara, yes, as Destroyer from Moulin Rouge, Wrath of Man, and The Gray Man. Ben Daniels as Goat, Rogue One, and The Exorcist TV show. Razak Adoti as Duke from Amistad, Black Hawk Down, and the Resident Evil Apocalypse, which movie? The 5th one? The 4th one?
It's up there.
Third? Yeah.
6.
Richard Brake as Portman, who's basically the creep guy in this movie. He's from the Sisters Brothers, Thor: The Dark World, The Hannibal Rising, and then Al Weaver as Kid from Colette and the TV show Grant Chester. And then Doug Jones is in here. He plays some of the monsters, as Jug Jones likes to do. He is, multiple, I guess they call them imps or whatever. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Doom monsters. Well, you guys can fill that in for me. I will, just so you can give a little history about, the game and whatnot. I've never played this game.
Never played a Doom?
No, not a first person shooter guy, as you know, as I've said often. Mm-hmm. So I don't really, I've seen it.
Okay.
I know what the deal is, but I just never got into it. And I know that this movie is based on Doom 3, which maybe you guys can speak to a little bit about, maybe some similarities, or explain to me why didn't they not base it on Doom? Mm-hmm. So I don't know if whoever wants to take that, but just kind of give me a little bit of maybe why you think it was based on Doom 3. Was that a good idea? Why wasn't it based on the first 2? Whoever wants it, go for it.
Because Doom 3 was coming out.
Oh, is that it?
They wanted to sell the game because it was a big departure from the original Dooms. And they were like, let's make it like this. That's why those dark hallways, like that tight corridor look, that wannabe aliens, that's all Doom 3.
Yeah, so in the game, it's very slow pace.
Yeah.
Very fast paced. The first 2 games, running, gunning, shooting hordes of demons coming out and just going through and blasting everything. And when Doom 3 came out, they almost wanted to go for that more horror scare tactic, because you did have like a flashlight in the game and in your gun. So you're kind of creeping around with stuff that could pop out and whatnot. A lot of people did complain about that, having that transition and having to work the flashlight. And so I know in more recent updates, you can just have the flashlight automatically on, because I think you had to like use a button or press something to use the flashlight, switch between the 2. So it made it a little bit awkward.
Because 300 years in the future, they didn't have flashlights on there. They're like, no more flashlights on guns.
No attachments. You got to hold it.
Got to hold it separately.
Well, this movie is supposed to take place in 2046. I think I saw that now.
Yeah,
right?
so they say they find the portal to Mars in 2026, and it's been 20 years since that portal was discovered.
And that's like the game, right? That's what happens in the game as well.
I don't know if Doom 3 might have a date. The classic Dooms, and I think this new trilogy, they don't say a specific date. I think it's just the future, and they take place on Phobos and Deimos, the moons of Mars, not on actual Mars.
Oh, but the Ark stuff is legit. Is that still the same thing, or no? It's the Ark of the movie.
It's similar. There's a lot of ancient temples, but it's kind of Event Horizon. Like they're aliens, but they're really from a different dimension. So they're from a hell dimension, very similar to Event Horizon. And in this, they're kind of some kind of genetically engineered alien zombie virus.
Well, they're not yet in this movie. They are the people that are a part of the facility have been infected and become this. Right.
Change it, yeah.
Right. So that was different, which whatever. I think I was not the biggest fan of this film. So I don't want to, but I don't want to tear it up. So let's get positive here, and I can kick us off with some positivity. The one note I had that I liked was I liked the fight at the end between Grimm and Sarge. The fight, okay, not everything leading up to them fighting, not like that kind of stuff. And the ending of it was meh, but the actual action in the fight, I liked. I thought that was decent. So that's my one positive note. Let's get positive, Russ. Give me something. If you like this, but if you love this movie, then it's all positive. But give me something you enjoyed out of this film.
I did have a note that I thought was a nice touch with the opening. Usually with Universal logo, they'll have the like the world or whatever, and it was switched out for Mars.
Yeah,
I do like when they play with the logos. Yeah, that's always fun because you're always like, ooh, okay, that's what's going on here. It's always right. Interest. I do like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. I don't love this movie as much as the other ones that we have watched on the series. Going back to it now, I was kind of like, it's okay. It had some good potential and some stuff that it could have expanded on to make a little bit better, but I was like, it's just not hitting this time around. And I'm a pretty big, I'm not a huge Doom fan, but I definitely got back into the series a lot.
You're wearing the shirt, so I assume you are.
Because I was like, there's a lot. I was like you said, them shooting like the zombie people made it feel less like a Doom movie. I wanted to see more of the creatures coming out. Okay, so the creatures. And we didn't get.
You want more of that connection to the game.
Well, the original game's got tons of zombies.
Yeah, I get, but they're all like the military guys. I guess.
They have the guns really and stuff.
Yeah.
Russ, you've been consistent with the pretty much the 5 movies we talked about, where you like when you recognize things from the game in the movie. So I know that's something you always kind of cling to. Mike, what give me something positive out of this film?
I will say, to counter Russ's, I think this is one of the better films we've done out of the 5.
Interesting.
This is the first time I've seen this one, so that might be why.
Okay. You never saw this?
I am a massive Doom fan. I don't have a shirt, so I can't compete with Russ, I guess.
Then you're not.
I am a very big Doom fan, and when I heard this was garbage, I was like, I never want to see this movie. It's going to be as bad as like the Resident Evil movies were. So I think the fact that this was fresh and I didn't have to watch something bad again, put this up on my list. I think Mario is still the best thing we watched. Because again, it's at least trying something new, whereas this is just bad aliens. And I'm not saying this movie is good. This movie is garbage, but it's better garbage than what we have seen. I really like that a lot of what we see monster wise is practical.
Yes, that they're in suits.
Yeah, they hide it a lot, but with those, like we talked before we recorded, the stupidly dark scenes, which are those straight out of that game, the Doom 3 game, I really liked their use of practical effects. I thought that was good.
And in the sets too, they used a lot of practical sets as well. A little bit of mixture they were showing. On my behind the scenes that I was watching. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And put the freaking effort into it. I appreciate it.
Well, obviously this. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, I was gonna say, nowadays I think we're all so used to everything being that. Oh man, I always forget the name. The big screen thing. The big
Screencraft.
Everything's stagecraft. So it's just we know it's stagecraft, but we're okay with it, and it looks better than green screen did. But it's still not the same as a set. So when you see a set in any movie nowadays, it's just like, oh, thank God, yes, it's real.
Well, I mean, they were doing matte painting, backdrops back in the day. So I mean, they're the tricks just get a little better. Obviously, this movie is probably more known for not that The Rock was in it or Dwayne Johnson, but more known for the first person shooter scene where they kind of they. I don't know how long would you say that is. That's about what 5 minutes,
2 minutes,
maybe less.
4. Yeah, I think like
a few minutes. Right. Yeah.
The note I have that it took 14 days to shoot, to set and plan to shoot, and it was actually directed by the assistant director, and the creature effect guy. It wasn't directed by the director of the film, which I don't want to butcher his name again. But what did you guys think of that first? I have two questions. What did you guys think about that scene?
Right.
And also, the stuff that happens in that scene, does that happen in the game? I'm thinking of like when the guy has the axe and he hits him and the axe flies and hits himself in the head and he goes down, like that stuff. Does that stuff happen in the game?
I've never seen that.
What did you think of the scene, and what did you were there similarities with what happens in the game?
Right. I thought it was a great touch to give a nod to the game, because the games are in first person and that's how you're normally seeing it. And it was neat how they did the transition into it. And then you're like, oh, okay, this is Doom. You see the weapon and it's going through. And again, I was watching the behind the scenes on it, how they were filming it. And he was explaining it's shot as one continuous shot, but they hide a lot of cuts in it where they'll do like whip pans or like go over an object that's like dark. So then you come out, oh, here's the cut. Like we could pick up another day and continue shooting. But I thought it was great. I remember seeing it at the theater and being super excited and like, this is awesome. You got like great music, because Doom's definitely about some killer music, like heavy metal, get you pumped going. So I was like, this fits with Doom. So I definitely enjoyed it.
I know the gun is CGI in some parts there, right? Like the gun is not really.
It seems so.
There.
Yeah.
So some stuff. Yeah. Mike, what'd you think of it?
I like some of it. Some of the cuts I felt were janky. There was some stuff where it was kind of seamless. Other cuts I was like, ooh, that's a cut. That's a cut. And there was one moment, I think he like does like a Batman jump on a wall. Like he goes and bounces.
He jumps over the guy.
I know he jumps over the guy. Yeah. But before that, he does kind of like a wall jump just to look cool.
Run.
Yeah. And I was just like, I kind of lost track of what was going on for a second.
Right.
But I thought the transition into him going first person was really well done. Waking up and like him looking in the mirror, and then all of a sudden you see the gun. I thought the transition was really cool. I thought that was really well done. And like Russ said, the music I thought was pretty good. I think that in a lot of things, they don't understand what the games are in a lot of movies we talked about throughout the series. In this, they were like, I think they really understood, the music is supposed to be metal. There needs to be guitar. There needs to be drums. It needs to be a metal soundtrack. And I think they did a pretty good job. I don't think they went far enough. But I think people that didn't know Doom would maybe be taken out of something that went too far. I think they struck a pretty decent balance there.
The chromosome 24 that he obviously is injected with to make him a super soldier, I guess. Is that something from the game, or is that something that's completely made up for this?
No, I think that's I can't remember if that's in Doom 3, but in Doom, you're just Doom guy. You're just awesome. So much so that in the new series, they kind of hint that the old games did happen and they've been happening throughout all of time. And you're just so badass that the demons can't kill you and they're afraid of you. So they just put you away in stasis because you're just too good at killing them. It's not even that you're like super soldier, although your suit, I think, makes you a little strong. You're just really good at killing things in the game.
All right.
Rip and tear, right?
Rip and tear. Although I think Dark Ages does make it sound like they do those whoever captures you or sends you out to kill them did some work on you.
Well, I've been watching all this like quick lore stuff on online, and I faintly remember, I think in one of the newer games, you were put into some type of machine to enhance your abilities. Whereas in the original games, you were just a normal guy and just fighting hordes of demons and being in hell so much made you, a little bit stronger and crazy or whatever in mindset.
You got to save your bunny rabbit.
Right.
Although you never do save that bunny rabbit.
Russ, you got this on the DVD. Or did you watch? Was it an extended cut that you watched? Because I have the note here that the extended cut is only on the DVD.
Yeah. It says extended cut right there on that.
Okay, so you watch stuff that we didn't see then because we're missing 8 minutes. I watched the. Well, actually, no, Mike. I think we did watch the extended cut because it was 152.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess we did watch the extended cut. So I don't even know what was in theaters and what we watched. I don't even know what we missed. I mean, I can't even think of it.
Some of the more violent stuff, maybe.
Maybe. The note also I have here is, since we're talking about DVD, in the United States and Canada, the DVD made $29.2 million in domestic video sales. So I mean, I wouldn't say that it's it. I guess this is probably in the black because it probably paid off some stuff. So it did well on DVD. What's up?
Well, that's back in the day when things were like, it didn't cost you an arm and a leg to get the DVD afterward. Mm-hmm. And you're probably like, all right, the movie's bad, but I'll wait for the DVD, and then you get the DVD. Mm-hmm. So nowadays, like that's why I can't tell what makes a profit or not anymore, because everything just goes to streaming, and that's what everybody waits for if they don't go see it in the theater.
Right.
I don't know how you
to buy it after streaming.
Yeah. Streaming metrics are not about dollars; they're about subscribers.
Yeah, how many subscribers you got within that week because of that movie? It's so weird.
And now you're hired if you have high Instagram followers.
It's the only way you get hired.
Yeah, I know.
I'm curious about the video game sales of Doom 3 with the movie. Like, did it help promote the movie or promote the game a little bit more? And people were like, oh, I didn't realize the Doom 3 game was out. I'll go check it out.
I don't know. I thought the game did pretty bad, which is why they had to kind of course correct.
Oh, the game. I don't know if the game being bad had to do with the movie though, because I mean, if you already played Doom, the first two, I'm sure you're going to pick up Doom 3, and the movie's not going to determine, you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to get casual view. Yeah.
I'm just saying, I don't think the movie helped the game all that much, because the game, okay, great reviews. Didn't get terrible reviews, but plus the demo didn't help. I don't think anybody. Because the first level you kill like maybe 2 things in Doom 3. It's real slow.
It's interesting. Okay, like Resident Evil kind of thing. They were trying to copy
almost. Yeah, it's a lot of those tight corridors you see in the movie, and scripted events happen in front of you. Like, ooh, look at that thing crawling. It's scary. Like, it's not a whole lot. It does open up a little bit more. Exactly. So I don't know. I want to see the Arnold Schwarzenegger version of the film that they kind of put the kibosh on.
Oh, he was supposed to be the main instead of The Rock, or what?
Well, there's notes in 1999, I believe it was, or 97. They started working on it. They canceled it in 99 because a couple of kids were playing with chainsaws after having played Doom. And something happened. Some terrible thing happened. The note doesn't say exactly what, but you can guess. Okay. So because there was a big outcry about that, they just canceled the Doom movie.
Yeah, the script was written by Dean Lorey, who did Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday, and that was the one that Arnold was going to be in. But then obviously they backed out of that. And 2 years prior, 97, you had Alan McElroy, who wrote Wrong Turn and Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. And he wrote a script, and he actually wrote that script the same time he was writing a Resident Evil script, and they both got rejected. So this movie has been trying to make this movie since at least 97. So 8 years prior. So, which is typical.
Yeah.
It takes a while. Vin Diesel was offered the lead role as well. In this, I would assume the Grim role. I don't know if he was offered the Sarge role.
Oh, okay.
I can't. I could see him in Sarge. I really can't see him as Reaper.
Well, the note here. What's funny is the note here also. There's a note here that says that Dwayne Johnson was offered the Grimm role, and he chose Sarge because he thought he was interesting. He was a more interesting character. But I find that interesting and fascinating because, as Mike and I have talked about on the show, his movies now, in his contract, he has stipulations where he can't lose fights. He's got to break. He's got to be the good guy. He's always got to come out on top.
Got to be the good guy, come out on top. He can't die. Always has to have a happy ending.
So,
so all those
2005, 2005, Dwayne Johnson was more about, I guess, the characters and the interesting work. Maybe he's a little more hungry. Whereas 2025 Johnson is about his image and his brand.
Well, 2005 Johnson is the one that got skinny because he was like, oh, if you really want to get acting roles, like he was
still big in this though. He's still big,
good. But he's not like, he's the tooth fairy, Dwayne Johnson at this point. And after his roles and his films failed, he said, screw it, and got big again. Just like, I'm going to be The Rock. This is one of his first thinner roles. But I thought it was interesting. He chose to be a bad guy. I mean, that's like The Rundown. He gets the crap beat out of in The Rundown, and The Rundown's a good movie.
And not that I want, The Rundown is a good movie. Not that I want to break down the plot in this movie or how character choices and decisions, but his turn at the end makes no sense.
Oh man, yes, it's terrible.
How he just gets more and more mad about.
Yeah, even before he gets infected, which it kills anyone else, but him, he just shakes it off. And even before that, he was just he straight up murdered the kid, and everyone's just like going with it. It's really just weird. It's a weird turn. It's a weird turn to have a bad guy. That's basically what it was.
He just goes too far. He starts as this person who wants to save the planet and do the job and protect his squad. And then it quickly turns into, I don't care about my squad. I only want to survive. Everyone's got to get killed. We're not saving anybody. Not check yourself. Let's make sure we're in pairs and protecting everybody. It's just, there needed to be hints throughout that, hey, Sarge is actually kind of an asshole. And there's nothing like that until he gets there. It's like, it almost seems like, wow, if it wasn't for Reaper, Sarge would be the hero of this movie. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait, nope. Got to make Sarge a psychopath.
Russ, what specific didn't you like about this film, aside from what you talked about before, like in terms of not a lot of stuff that you wanted to see, stuff from the game, but what else about the actual
I guess maybe more lore into it, like what was going on at the facility. They kind of hint like, you get a brief glimpse back of the doctor when they were experimenting on the cellmate, and they lowered him down into the area there. It's like I kind of
the holding area. Yep.
Right. You can see a lot more of that, what's going on and what they're either protecting with the data, or maybe even more about that company, because Sarge is so strict on like, oh, we need to get their property, and like, you got to give me those files. And it's like, all right, well, who's this company? Like, you barely showed too much about them. Maybe explore more on that. So I feel like there was a lot of loose plots going on, and that I wanted more information on that.
That's fair. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in this film that make no sense. And dialogue scenes and decisions being made that, the whole scene when the guy is hitting on
the way, like, I got to strip search you.
Portman.
Yeah, you want the bones, huh? Whatever.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Like, yeah. That was like, what is happening? Like, why? What are we doing here? And just.
And then I really didn't get that guy. What the guy was? He like went to the bathroom, and then he was like messaging someone and transmitting something, and I'm like, what's this all about? Expand on that. Like,
he was calling for backup because The Rock said no backup.
Right.
But they're not going to get there. They're on Mars. No backups coming anytime soon.
Right.
There's a self-imposed 20-hour quarantine that shut it down. It's like, it doesn't even make any sense to call for him.
Yeah, and that guy was like, I understand the role, Portman. I understand the role, but he is so like, he's got drugs. He's just hitting on women, picking them up. Like, he's so stereotypical that it's, like in the beginning is like, I get home, hotel, 3 she boys and whatnot. And I'm just like, what are we saying here? What is going on with this guy?
He's not, there's no way he's a special forces operator. Yeah. Like he's just like, he's half strung out right now. Like,
right.
How is he holding a weapon straight without shaking?
How about his death scene too, where he's just getting knocked back and forth. I'm like, what is this?
He reminds me of Timothy. Shoot, what's his name? In the Incredible Hulk, the guy that's chasing the Hulk that becomes the Abomination.
Okay.
Tim Roth.
Tim Roth. He I don't know, for some reason he just reminded me of that guy, of that character, even though he wasn't British.
Because he's all strung out and like impossible to believe he'd be special forces.
Yeah. And then just like other decisions, like when they talk to the guy who's in the wheelchair unit,
Pinky,
or whatever that is, Pinky. Yeah. And I know that's a creature in the game. I know, right? Pinky's a creature in the game.
Yeah. What he turns into at the end is basically the creature from Doom 3, which is a creature in the original ones too. Yeah.
And I get that. But when he shows up and they talk about how arc travel, we don't really know how to do it. And sometimes it gets messed up, just be lucky. And then they cut to a flashback of him losing his legs. I'm like, why do I need that? You don't need to show me the legs.
It was such a weird flashback that I was like, wait, is that somebody else's legs? Did they all of a sudden just show up?
Right. Should have been like a filter or something on it to show it was in the past, or like, I don't know.
I don't even know if I need it.
Right.
Or just show the whole thing.
Yeah. I like the idea of the metal walls that you can walk through and then you can
like those nanotech.
Solid.
Yeah.
That was interesting. I like to trap the one thing that was okay. I didn't mind that. I didn't realize they shot tongues at people. I didn't understand that, but okay, that's fine. I'll buy that.
I'll buy that.
But yeah, so there's a lot of just weird choices that some I'm like, okay. And some the others I'm just like, no, like The Rock going, you shoulder that weapon, soldier. It's like, why is that? See, if I was writing that piece of dialogue, I'm not using shoulder and soldier in the same sentence there, because it sounds too familiar, and it would come off stupid. And what happens? Hey, it comes off stupid.
I thought the whole kid getting high thing was really dumb.
Yeah.
Like, I just need something to take the edge off so that you can have a half of a conversation about it later, that it never really comes up again, and it never really affects the kid in any physical way or plot device way.
Right.
It's like, let's say something here. We're trying to say something.
Yeah. And then you referenced this before, Mike, when the Sarge is so gung-ho about knowing the truth, and then they find out what the truth is. Like, whatever. We got to take it home. That's our mission. Like, it was like, what?
This can't come home. My men are dead. 4 of my men are dead. We got to bring this back. This shit's got to come back with us. You can't.
It's like they shot the first part of that scene, and it was like the end of the day. Like, all right, we'll come back tomorrow and finish it up. And then they just did a rewrite, and they just didn't bother to fix anything. Like, don't worry about it. We're fine. We'll figure it out.
Right.
Hold on. Come here for a second. Come here. So we decided you're an evil piece of shit. What? No. Yeah. It just all of a sudden.
Heel turn.
And the determination.
You're a heel now.
And the determination on why the hell beasts or whatever are choosing who to infect.
Right.
Some people, they choose some people. Why? Because you're a good dude. Oh, okay. You'll be fine because he's a good dude. It's not, or it'll work on you because you're a decent guy. So it'll work on you because they don't want to infect you. If I infect you, you'll be a super soldier and it'll work. Oh, okay.
See, this is where I think that using some of the old Doom lore would work better, where they are kind of demons and it's hell and it's something way different and almost like biblical are the bad guys. Like it's in space, but it's something weird and different. Because you could be like, all right, these are demons and they do sense evil, good and evil. It's not about genetics and some kind of, you have the chromosome to be a sociopath. Not even a sociopath, just to have, you're right, just to have the ability to do evil. It's just, it was really, really silly.
But don't we all have that ability?
Well, certainly. It seems all the scientists clearly did, because every single one of them turned into a monster.
That's why I was like, Pinky, I guess, was a bad guy as well, and then he turned into
Pinky had it in him.
I was like, no one was good. Like the little boy, and like when they found the kids, like nope, all demons.
Maybe Pinky's lower half was good.
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't remember But when the kid finds all those people in that room,
Mhm.
and then he goes back and they're like, we're just hiding. And he goes back to Sarge, and Sarge like, clear that room. We never see those people again, right?
No,
Like,
Carl, Grimm asks about them. Yeah. He goes, what about the people hold up? Oh, he says, I took care of them.
Right.
Oh,
when he went back in and turned.
Yeah,
or
and
whatever.
like everything's gone to shit in this facility. Everything's like everything's breaking down. People are escaping, or creatures are escaping, but Sarge has a hard on to get that big gun in the armory.
BFG.
Like he's like, I gotta get another weapon. Like, where are you going?
Yeah, the quote unquote Bioforce gun. I was so mad when I read that, but I'm glad that at least The Rock says what it really is.
Right.
I'm like, Bioforce gun. That's not what the BFG stands for.
But he does, and he uses it twice, maybe 3 times, and it's like, yeah.
I mean, ammo is low in the game for that gun, so
because it kills everything in the room. Yeah, I thought the effect was kind of cool. I didn't know what they would do with it. I like that it was still crazy strong.
Yeah, and it kind of melted the wherever it shot around it.
Yeah.
So
and burned the crap out of Portman's dead body.
Right.
I like that his dead body was charged. I was like, that's what you get, you weirdo. I gotta poop. What are you taking? Why are you letting him go take a poop? Just stop him. You're guarding a door.
Yeah. Right.
If I was that big guy, I'd have been like, no, you see this minigun? You're standing right here.
Let me give you some reviews. Ebert, Doom is like some kid came over and is using your computer and won't let you play. I don't get that analogy. I mean, like, okay.
Well, I get that maybe that you're screaming at the screen, like, oh, do this, and they're not doing what you want them to do.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Kim Newman from the Empire magazine says, not quite as dreadful as Resident Evil Apocalypse, but that's hardly a major achievement. So he's like,
so maybe Apocalypse was the second one.
Maybe, I don't know.
This was only 2005. But yeah, the Resident Evil movies are terrible.
I got you a good one though, because Justin Chang from Variety. This is a long one. It's really not all that bad. Ultra derivative big screen transplant of one of the most successful and controversial films ever made plays like a mutant cross between a biotech thriller and a zombie movie with all the alien autopsies, blood gushing protuberances, and meaningless scientific jargon that come with the territory. So
that would be my review. I mean,
yeah,
it's bad, but it's not the worst. It's just kind of everything is so generic. Their use of Doom is generic. Their ripoff of Aliens is generic. He even says a Predator line, doesn't he? Sarge says, if it bleeds, we can kill it, or some bullshit like that. Doesn't he say he does say a straight up Predator line. I just don't remember what the line is. It's not if it bleeds, we can kill it, but he says a line straight out of Predator at one point. And I was like, what? No.
Johnson described this. Oh, sorry. But
I looked up Resident Evil Apocalypse was the second one.
Okay.
It came out.
How many are there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It shows 6.
Wow.
From 2002 to 2016.
Wow.
Apocalypse has Nemesis in it?
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah.
Okay. That's the last one I saw in its entirety.
You didn't see any of the other ones?
I seen parts, but 2 is the first Resident Evil is okay. And then the second one is so silly and so just let's shove everything Resident Evil into one movie that I was done. Plus, you gave Mia Jovovich too many powers.
It's her husband directing the movie. Her husband directed all the movies. And she did that movie for her brother, so I can't knock that because her brother loves the games.
The first one's okay.
Her brother's special needs. I'm not sure, but I know she did that for him. So
okay,
I can't knock that. We usually, I mean, we can keep going. And that's fine. We can. There's other stuff we can talk about. I do want to take some time to talk about the 5 movies that we discussed this series.
Okay.
Unless there's some things I forgot about with Doom. I mean, we can bring them up.
I do think Doom is ripe for a redo. I think there's a lot of stuff in Doom. The ones that people like. Doom 3 is the outlier because it's so different and ignores everything else that was Doom.
Right.
But I think Doom you could still remake and make it so different that people wouldn't compare it to this film. Almost like the Mario Brothers film is so different from obviously the animated kid film. But I feel like Doom, of the ones we've made, can definitely be remade.
Well, I asked Russ this offline, but Mike, have you seen the Annihilation one that came out in 2019?
Oh, the one that's got a 3.6 or whatever on IMDb? No, I did read the IGN review for it, which is pretty funny because they destroyed it in their review.
But it's not a sequel, or is it?
I don't think it's a sequel. It's just supposed to be a Doom movie, but it's like a U-Bowl type Doom movie where it's like a $2 million budget, just kind of almost like a fan. I think the review said it was almost just like a fan film with a bigger release budget.
Right.
But there was a game called Doom Annihilation, right? Or no, my mistake.
I think you're thinking of Mortal Kombat.
Okay. So anything Annihilation is terrible.
Don't use that as let's see. Resurrection. Yeah, I don't think I see Annihilation. Ultimate Doom. Yeah, Resurrection. Recurrence. No.
Recurrence. Interesting.
Some of those might be the episodes in original Doom. There's so many different like add-ons over the years. There's one that came out earlier this year too.
I will say I love the
for the original 93. Yeah,
the lore when Doom Eternal came out, it actually launched on the same day as Animal Crossing. So then there was a lot of art with Isabel from Animal Crossing and Doom Guy like hanging out and being friends and like all this weird stuff. I was like, okay, let it happen.
So I don't want to rank the movies. I don't want to do any of that. But I do want to ask if are there any regrets going back to watching these 5 films? Are you happy you went back to them? Are you, Mike, you had never seen Doom, so I guess that's probably in the positive. So when we kind of pick these just at random, we put a list of the films down we wanted to talk about, and then we kind of just picked these, and Doom was a second. Doom kind of like came in at the end. So I guess any regrets?
No, I don't think so. I think it was neat to kind of go back and see what people thought to make a movie from a video game, to take what they saw on the screen there, playing it, and try to sprinkle some of that into the big screen and, kind of make it their own too, write their own story around it. Cause I guess they very well could have just taken with some of the games, like a direct story and ported it over. But I mean, sometimes maybe that would have been better instead of them trying to do their own thing. But
yeah. And I know games now are more, we talked about this last time, more story driven, a little bit more serious. So it kind of lends itself to, like The Last of Us, a more serious piece of a TV series or a film. But do you prefer what we did, like the type of video game movies that were being made in the late 90s, early 2000s? Or do you prefer what we're getting right now in terms of when these games come out now? For barring, granted, Uncharted was not a good movie, but those stuff. What are both of your preferences? What would you rather? Would you rather just have the same fun in a theater as you have playing the game, or would you like to see it kind of take up a notch and be a little serious?
I kind of lean towards having more fun with it. Sure. Yeah. Just like, going back to, watching the original Mortal Kombat, I thought was way better than Annihilation that we reviewed.
Right. The 95 one. Yep.
Yeah. And I think that did it pretty good with how the games were and what we got to see.
Well, that's a good example. Because you have the newer Mortal Kombat movie out, so that's a good example. You prefer the older way.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know, it just hits better. Maybe just being like a gamer for so long and growing up.
Yeah,
these games just a little bit better. And now it's like you said, all the games now have writers on it. So it's like, do I need the movie? I'm getting so much story and even more story because I can put 10 hours into the game and get so much lore and story out of it, where you're going into a movie, you kind of have to cram that into, a 90-minute runtime or whatever. And it doesn't hit as well. Yeah.
Mike, what do you think?
I think it depends on the game. in the movie.
Sure.
Like if it's Mortal Kombat, I want more fun. The new Mortal Kombat suffered something that even these 5 movies didn't do that we've watched, which is, well, Doom kind of with notwithstanding, just throw another character, which Resident Evil suffered from, through a main character that doesn't exist in the lore for a movie that's going to be 80% fans watching it and be like, watch this new guy. It's like, why not Johnny Cage? Why not Liu Kang? Why not Kung Lao? Like, why are we following this random generic dude from Middle America who can't pay his rent? I don't care about him and his rent. Get me to Shao Kahn. Let's do Mortal Kombat. But like with The Last of Us is phenomenal. I'd rather play the game, but because I played the game first. The TV show does hit a couple of more emotional notes that the game still kind of would have a little bit of trouble with, and kind of goes deeper into more emotional parts because there's less action, obviously. But something like Sonic the Hedgehog, I loved the Sonic the Hedgehog movies. I thought they did a great job making them fun, family friendly, still kind of appreciating things that did Sonic or made Sonic. So I think it depends on what you're basing it on. A Doom movie should be hardcore action, get a huge guy like John Cena, where he's good, somebody, but they have to be cool with not taking their mask off for 95% of the movie. Pedro Pascal and the Mandalorian style. But you could do like the Mario movie. You could do Sonic and make them fun. Mortal Kombat should be fun. Even the video games, the story mode is campy. So I really think it depends on what you're watching. Like when they reboot Resident Evil for the 4th time, it should be a straight up horror movie. It should be scary. That's what Resident Evil is supposed to be. But I don't want to see a serious, dramatic Shakespearean Sonic the Hedgehog, for Sonic 4. So I think it really depends. But I think with the 5 movies we watched, like Russ said, they didn't have the benefit of a well-written story for some of them. Doom, you kind of have to piece the story together from little screens at the beginning and end of each chapter. And, Mortal Kombat was just, if you didn't read the instruction manual, you're not getting half of it. And then Mario and stuff is just, and Street Fighter is basically, like Russ said, you're watching these guys on the screen and going, all right, now how can I connect that and make that a story?
Right.
So Blanca is Charlie. All right. Yes.
I will say I do appreciate with The Last of Us, it being a TV series, they can take their time more developing the story, the characters and everything. And it lends itself well to that rather than trying to cram all that into like 90 minutes. And we talked about it before with the Mortal Kombat web series that came out. I thought was great rather than it being just a quick movie. You can explore each character a little bit kind of leading up to the tournament or something like that. So I think that's
Avengers style.
Yeah. Avengers style for sure.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Sweet. So
Field, what do you think, Field? Having never played any of these games, apparently, what are your thoughts?
I played Super Mario Brothers.
What are your thoughts on these 5 films? On how video game movies have changed.
I think there hasn't been many video game film movies that I'm like, woo, great. I think they all suffer from trying to do service to the game. So I think at least Doom tried to have a little fun. At least Doom did the first person shooter scene. So, they kind of didn't shy away from it. Super Mario Brothers kind of went a different way. We kind of talked about that. I don't know with the newer stuff. I don't watch The Last of Us. I just wasn't interested in the show. So I wasn't interested in the show, and because I just feel like I've seen this already. I don't know. So it wasn't. I definitely think it's a lot easier to make a decent film based on a video game because, like Russ says, they've got story writers now that can. I mean, they completely screwed up Uncharted, but what else is new? So they do have the luxury of we're working with source material that is fleshed out already. So I hopefully we'll get better ones, but you still have those games. I know there's still games out now that are just shooter games. And they'll probably eventually try to make them. I know, into game. I know I didn't watch the Halo series. I don't know if you guys watched the Halo series. I don't know. Is that good? Is that even follow the game.
Hardcore fans don't like it because it doesn't really follow the games. It really does its own thing. I thought it was terrible for the first half and then got better. And the second season does more fan service, but they screwed up the first season so much that's the thing. It's like, video game movies and TV shows are, Last of Us notwithstanding, so much for the fans only. And you hope other people come on, that if you don't have the fan service and then they don't like it, you'll never get anyone to watch it. So it's a really tight balance to have to be like, I want to do my own thing, but I know that if I don't do it this way, my fans are going to like it.
And it's difficult because you are adapting another piece of work, but it's a piece of visual work. So people already see it. They already have expectations. Yeah. Whereas if you're adapting a book, you're basically kind of, it's your interpretation of the words. So there's kind of like that unsubconscious leeway that, like, and most people like the books better than the movies. But when you're doing a video game, you expect, like, I know that there was a big issue with Last of Us a couple episodes ago where people were like, it's better in the game than what they did. And okay, fine. But that's the expectation because you see it. So like, you know what I mean? And that's human nature because you already seen it done and you're like, oh, that's so good. And then they don't recreate it. And you're just like, why would you not recreate it? It's perfect. And so I guess, you have that issue. So yeah, I guess it's a lot easier to adapt something because of the story editors and the story writers. It also comes with the caveat of you are adapting a visual medium. So you have to walk that fine line. It's tough.
I was telling Field before we started recording, I'm excited for and a little nervous, I guess. They're supposed to be doing another Silent Hill, and it's based on Silent Hill 2, the game.
Yeah. But apparently Capcom's I think it was Capcom, whoever made it, has a big hand in it this time.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of behind the scenes stuff, like they were posting photos, and it definitely has potential because everyone raves about Silent Hill 2. They just remade the game, so it's big and everyone's playing it now. I had never played 2 before, and I played that, went back and played the original on PlayStation 2, and it's definitely got this deep story and hits a lot of different emotions, and I'm curious how this one's going to turn out. And I do have to watch. There was a short movie that was a fan film of it that's like, I don't know, 20 minutes or something like that.
That's pretty good if you could find it. Yeah, I liked that.
Russ, I've never played the games and I've never watched the movies, so I've got you there.
There we go.
So before we end, I thought it'd be cool to ask each of you, what would be your dream, or just what would you prefer? Like if they did a movie based on a game,
okay,
that they haven't yet and they haven't talked about doing yet, what would it be? I know, Field, you wanted Uncharted before, so now you have to think of something different.
I know, so because they screwed it up.
I mean, I guess you could kind of still say Uncharted because it's so different.
It's fine.
But yeah, what would be?
I'll do Uncharted 4. Yeah.
Nice.
Go ahead, Russ. I gotta think.
Okay. I was leaning towards. I was going to cop out one of my favorite games. I do have a tattoo on my arm. Chrono Trigger. If you ever played that RPG, it'd be a tough one to live action it because there's so much going on, and then time traveling and going to different periods. They would have to sink a ton into it. It would just lean itself probably better towards a anime sort because there was some cut scenes if you played it on the PlayStation version or on the Nintendo DS when they remade it. But Chrono Trigger definitely would be unique to see. Maybe something more modern. What is I never played much of them. I know Mike knows it. What's the space? Oh, Dead Space, right? I feel like Dead Space could be awesome. Sure.
I think they are doing a Dead Space.
Yeah,
I think I did read. At least it's being commissioned.
Okay, so maybe.
But yeah, Dead Space would be a cool one.
Is that like Dead Island or whatever that's called?
It's like zombies in space.
Yeah.
What else we got?
Oh, you want me to go? You know what? We talked about it last week or the week before, the Tex Murphy games I used to play.
Right.
Oh, nice.
I like mysteries, and it's a detective genre. I mean, I would definitely kind of get rid of the cheese factor a little bit. I would try to make it a little bit more serious. But I mean, I play those games because I like it. A lot of games I play are either movie related already, like Enter the Matrix game, because that's part of the movie in and of itself. It kind of works within there. So, and I mean, I play Assassin's Creed a little bit, but those movies stink. Probably the Tex Murphy games. That's. I mean, I don't play. Obviously, you guys outpace me with video games and what you play, and I'm usually playing them to just kind of distract me from something. I don't really like it. Like, I don't like sitting there and like waking up 5 hours later going, "Holy shit! I've just been playing this game for 5 hours." Oh my god, that's like just like completely depresses me. So, but like I know, like, but Phil, what's the difference with doing that and watching a movie? So I get it. But yeah, so probably the Tex Murphy games.
All right.
What about you?
Oh,
you asked the question.
That's one that's not.
I'll go again.
I always wanted Mass Effect, but I know Amazon's gonna fuck that up because they're working on it now. I would say old school games, and Russ is probably one of the only people that knows this game. But Faxanadu on Nintendo.
Nice.
I always love Faxanadu. I love that it's like has this dark medieval style, and the whole game's kind of like a tapestry. Mm-hmm. I just think that you could really do some kind of, and it's a game where the lore is, there's stuff in the game you can pick out, but because it's not really well known, and because it's kind of vague anyway, you can really kind of flesh out that story to make it something really cool while still borrowing a lot of that visual style that I think would be really neat.
I can almost see it as a small series.
Yeah, something Game of Thronesy kind of.
Right, Games of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, like they're doing.
Yeah, a little bit more monsters. Yeah,
I will say for another one, it had me thinking, which maybe in the future could be on the horizon, but a Metroid movie.
Yeah, you talked about that a few episodes ago. You wanted to see that. Yeah,
that'd be awesome to see. So like live action scene. I mean, can be done.
There was. Why do I think they did an animated one? That's not right. Didn't they do an animated one?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Probably not. You're probably right. I don't know why I'm thinking. Maybe I dreamt it.
Don't question Russ's Nintendo knowledge.
I'm not questioning. I know that in this field I am deficient in my knowledge.
Got that.
Okay. All right, put the guns away. All right, so that's From Console to Screen. That wraps it up. Maybe we'll return for another 5 parts at some point down the road. Who knows?
You have like 15 more games on the list.
Yeah, I know.
It's quite a few. Yeah.
So, and hopefully you'll be seeing us on Russ's channel, helping him out, playing whatever we're doing. Russ is gonna let us know. But this has been fun. I'm glad that we got to revisit some of these. I mean, I'll probably never revisit them again, so it would be good it was good to do that. I hope you guys had a good time. Russ, before we go, do you want to let everyone know where they can find you?
Sure. Yeah. If you guys want to hear me chat about stuff, I do a podcast as well called The Weekly Warp Pipe. We're on YouTube, Spotify, and all that, talking everything about retro games, toys, music, anything from the past. If you guys like Doom stuff, I have a video on my channel, Russ Lyman, on YouTube, where I customized a Doom action figure I bought at like GameStop, did like a new paint job on it with blood and everything, built the stand for it. And that video like blew up, got, I don't know, it's probably got like 20,000-30,000 views on there. So maybe I could recreate that with the new Doom game coming out, get a new Doom figure. So check me out. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and all that. Russ Lyman, Lyman.
Nice. Mike, hit him with it.
You can find us at ForgottenCinemaPodcast.com or wherever you get your podcast. You're watching, rating, yelling at us right now about how much better Doom is than we think it is. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about that in the comments? Like it, all that kind of stuff really helps the channel grow. If you want more Forgotten Cinema, we're available every Wednesday where we talk about a forgotten film that seems to be forgotten by audiences. We talk about what we love about it, what we maybe don't love about it, but we'll always recommend you revisit it. We also do now showings. This summer, we have a ton of movies we're reviewing: Mission Impossible, Superman, maybe F1, Jurassic World, The summer's just packed with movies that we're going to review on the show. So check that out. If you want to support us, we're on Patreon, patreon.com/forgotten cinema. We have exclusive episodes, merch discounts, Discord access, free stickers, all that good stuff. Or you can go to our merch store and just get a shirt. That helps us out as well. Thanks for watching. That's what I got.
You're close to the Micro Machine speed. I don't know if you guys remember those commercials, but yeah, you're very close.
We covered that on my podcast, so check out my group.
Nice. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. I'm Mike Field.
I'm Mike Butler.
And this has been Forgotten Cinema from console to screen. See you later.